While his fiancée and the biggest star in the WNBA looked on from the suite above, Travis Kelce just passed a Dallas Cowboys legend. Here's what no one is discussing, though. This was no ordinary record. This was a declaration that the Chiefs' dynasty is changing rather than disintegrating. Chiefs versus Lions on Sunday night at Arrowhead Stadium. At 2 minutes to 3, Kansas City was limping in. Their title defense appears to be in doubt. Their offensive lurch. The dynasty is over, according to critics everywhere. Patrick Mahomes struggling, as well as Travis Kelce. The rumors began weeks ago. Too old, too preoccupied with his life as a pop star. Then he steps onto that field. In the second quarter, he had one 15-yard catch, 6 receptions, and 78 yards. Kelce's actions have reverberated throughout NFL history. He now has the second most receiving yards of any tight end in primetime games, surpassing Jason Witten. The only person seated in front of him is another Chiefs legend, Tony Gonzalez. That's it now. That's the list. Let's go back in time, though, because the atmosphere was electrifying even before this record was made. This season, Taylor Swift makes her first appearance on television when she returns to Arrowhead. The cameras are prepared. It's a crazy buzz. She's not alone either. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA sensation who just finished her rookie season by almost leading the Indiana Fever into the playoffs, is seated directly next to her. I grew up watching the Chiefs in Iowa and have been a lifelong fan. They are repeatedly cut to in the broadcast. Following a scoring drive, Swift gives Ed, Kelce's father, a hug. During third down conversions, Clark leaps out of her seat. Two of the most well-known figures in music and sports sitting together in a suite. One man is pursuing history. This is where things start to get interesting. For Kansas City, this game was crucial. They had begun the second and third seasons. It was their worst start in a long time. The offense appeared haphazard. Mahomes was intercepting passes. There wasn't a running game, as well as the media. Like vultures, they were circling, prepared to write this 3-time champion corps' obituary. Detroit entered Arrowhead with assurance. In the first game of the 2023 season, they had defeated Kansas City. They had confidence and momentum, and they kept up with the Chiefs for the majority of the first half. However, champions don't give up. They adapt. The game is tied halfway through the second quarter. Mahomes retreats. He looks around the field, and there's Kelce, who has spent 13 seasons honing his signature route down the middle. It was perfectly timed and executed. The throw is positioned precisely where it should be. First down, 15 yards. Jason Witten is suddenly passed by Travis Kelce. At Arrowhead, the crowd erupts. They are aware of what they just saw. It's more than just a catch. This is a historical artifact. The announcement is made instantly by the NFL social media team. In NFL history, Travis Kelce surpasses Jason Witten to claim the second most receiving yards in primetime games. Swift and Clark are standing up in the suite. The moment is captured by the cameras. Pure happiness, unadulterated joy. When your person accomplishes something significant, this is what sports fandom looks like. Kelce, however, doesn't rejoice. Not yet. There is still work to be done, so he returns to the huddle. The match is tied. The Lions are starving, and Kansas City is in dire need of this victory. Mahomes literally takes matters into his own hands late in the same quarter. From the 1-yard line, the quarterback sneaks. He pushes his way through the stack, landing. The Chiefs are ahead, 13-10. They never fall behind again. All of a sudden, the offense becomes clear. After 4 weeks, everything that appeared to be broken begins to flow. Mahomes ends with 3 touchdowns and 243 yards. The running game looks for weaknesses. The defense becomes rigid, as well as Kelce. He continues to do what he has done all his career, which eases the workload for Patrick Mahomes. After the game, Mahomes remarked, "Travis just finds ways to get open. He has spent his entire career doing it. He greatly simplifies my work." That quote alone sums up this collaboration perfectly. Between college and the pros, they spent 14 seasons together. Even though he is getting close to his mid-30s, Kelce has 3 Super Bowl rings, innumerable clutch moments, and is still Mahomes' go-to guy when the game is on the line. Mahomes aims for 87 on third downs and 87 in the red zone. You already know who's getting the ball on a game-winning drive. However, since context is important in this case, let's discuss what this record actually means. Games during primetime are different. The illumination has increased, It increases the pressure, every error is enlarged, each achievement is immortalized. Kelce is in rarefied air as the second best tight end of all time in these moments, only surpassed by Tony Gonzalez. For 21 seasons Jason Witten played, Kelce simply outperformed him in what are arguably the most demanding circumstances the NFL has to offer. He was a warrior, a leader, and a future Hall of Famer who redefined toughness at the position. At the top with more than 15,000 yards is Tony Gonzalez. Kelce is currently pursuing that. Additionally, that record drops if he plays at even 75% of his current level for 2 or 3 more seasons. However, Sunday was about more than history books and statistics. For the Chiefs, this game symbolized something greater. When things didn't feel right, they had to show they could still win. The final score was 30-17, and they responded convincingly. When the offense wasn't clicking, the defense was in doubt, and the entire football community was dismissing them as pretenders rather than contenders. After halftime, the defense only allowed the Lions to score 7 points. The offense settled into a rhythm, and Kelce reminded everyone that even though he is now a worldwide celebrity, his football prowess is still unmatched. We can't overlook the elephant in the room, so let's talk about that lovely scene now. One of the most talked about stories in sports these days is the relationship between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It's reality whether you like it or not. Every game she goes to turns into an occasion. Her reactions are captured on camera, and each one goes viral. Every ensemble is examined. What gets lost in all that noise, though, is this. She really is on his side. It was not for the cameras when he hugged his father. When he breaks records, his joy is genuine. She cares about him, so she has an interest in his success. In 2025, sports culture will converge with Caitlin Clark's presence. For an entire season, basketball was electrified by the WNBA's brightest young star, occupying the same suite as the biggest worldwide star in music. They are both watching the most well-known tight end in football chase history. Throughout her life, Clark has been transparent about her passion for the Chiefs. She was raised in Iowa, which is only a few hours away from Kansas City. When she was still at Iowa in 2023, she went to her first Arrowhead game. Kelce even wore her merchandise on his podcast in return. It's real, it's organic, and that's precisely the kind of cross-cultural, cross-sport moment that makes contemporary sports so fascinating. The cameras adored it. Social media took off. Most significantly, though, it enhanced the already thrilling atmosphere at Arrowhead Stadium on a night when the Chiefs sorely needed the enthusiasm of their home crowd. What does all of this signify for Kansas City's future? Easy. Their deaths were reported with great exaggeration. They are now back at 500 after being at 3-3. Not in control, not flawless, but alive. You count them out at your own risk, as this organization has demonstrated over the past 6 years. The crime was once more identified on Sunday evening. Most significantly, the chemistry that makes Kansas City dangerous resumed. Mahomes appeared at ease, and the protection held up. This offense is almost impossible to stop when Kelce Mahomes is in sync. However, we shouldn't act as though this is the same Chiefs squad as in 2022 or 2023. They don't blow teams away. They aren't putting up 40 points every game. This is Kansas City, but gritty and more methodical. Now they're winning by playing defense. They're working hard for their possessions. The type of football they are playing is one that wins in January rather than September. And for the rest of the league, that might be even more frightening. Young weapons are developing around Kelce. Rashee Rice is becoming a real danger. No one can match the speed that Xavier Worthy brings. The offense is changing, adding depth while maintaining the foundation of the championship. Kelce is no longer required to play Superman every week. All he has to do is be clutch. And Sunday demonstrated that he still is. Whiten's record was broken by that 15-yard catch. The third down situation was perfectly timed. The game is at stake. When the Chiefs most need momentum, their Hall of Fame tight end comes through. That's not luck, that's legacy. The whole story was revealed by the endearing responses. Swift was aware of what she was observing. As a student of sports greatness, Clark recognized the significance. And Ed Kelce, who has been watching his son dominate for more than 10 years, most likely experienced the same sense of pride when he saw his son accomplish historic feats on the biggest stage in football. This is the aspect of Travis Kelce that frequently gets lost in the clamor surrounding celebrities. He is among the best to have ever played his position for a period. Historically elite, not just good, not just very good. He has redefined the capabilities of tight ends. He has altered defensive strategy throughout the league. As the main weapon, he has won 3 Super Bowls and is currently breaking records that seemed unbreakable only a few years ago. Next is the receiving record for Tony Gonzalez during primetime. He catches him if he stays healthy and plays 2 more seasons at Kelce's current pace. Then what? Then Travis Kelce is the only great tight end in NFL history to play in primetime. Sunday, however, was not about the future. It was around this very moment. It was about a team rediscovering itself. It was about a legend reminding everyone why he's legendary. And it was about Kansas City saying, we're still here, to every team that dismissed them. With a defeat and a reminder of what championship-level football looks like, the Lions left Arrowhead, the Chiefs regained their swagger and left with confidence and momentum. Detroit remains a strong team. Kansas City just taught them the difference between being good and being great, but they will still compete throughout the season. Between having talent and having battle-tested champions who know how to perform when it counts most, and between competing and winning titles. Even though it was only week 6, the atmosphere felt like a playoff game, even though the confetti didn't fall. The audience felt a change. The genuine Kansas City Chiefs just showed up, according to the energy in that stadium. And in a way that only he can, Travis Kelce, his fiancée, and one of the biggest names in sports, watched from above as he put on a show that connected football brilliance with cultural significance. In 2025, greatness will look like this. Legends are created, records are lost, and the dynasty is constantly being buried. It simply never stops figuring out how to live. The next person on that list is Tony Gonzalez. The Chief has a more demanding schedule. The spotlight is always bright. However, if Sunday demonstrated anything, it was that Kansas City and Travis Kelce perform well under duress. Whether they are back isn't the question. Now that they've regained their identity, the question is whether anyone can stop them. This has occurred throughout the NFL, starting at Arrowhead Stadium, where history was made and stars came together. This season is just getting started, so if you want to see the real stories behind the headlines, subscribe. Additionally, Kansas City just served as a reminder to everyone of why they remain the team to